The Philadelphia Eagles 2023 schedule has been leaked, and coming up on today's show, we're going to go through it game by game. But according to NFL research, the Birds, coming off that Super Bowl appearance, had the #1 most difficult schedule in the National Football League. So with that, I want you to answer this question here to my right. Predict the Eagles' record in 2023. And with that, let's start the show. All right, welcome in. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for being here with us. This is really an exciting day on the NFL calendar because finally we can look ahead to the upcoming season. The Philadelphia Eagles trying to bring back that second Lombardi trophy, coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. And now we can start to talk some actual football because now we know what the schedule is. Now keep in mind, this schedule has been leaked to us here at Chat Sports. We're pretty sure it's 100% right. Some things could change, but look, keep that in mind as we go through this, that changes could be made, but we're almost certain this is going to be the schedule for the Birds here in 2023. A couple of games that have already been reported to be official. That does include the Week 1 matchup against the New England Patriots. The Patriots are going to honor Tom Brady in Foxborough for this matchup. I would have liked this game a little bit later for the Eagles because I think they're by far and away the better team than New England, which does have a pretty thin roster, but crazy things happen in Week 1. Upsets often take place, and the Patriots fans are going to be fired up honoring Tom Brady before the game to celebrate his retirement and his career with the New England Patriots with all those Super Bowls. So it's Nick Sirianni against Bill Belichick in Week 1. Week 2, repeat of last year. Eagles come home after being on the road to kick off the season, just like they did last year. And it's going to be on a short week against the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday Night Football. So primetime game #1. The Vikings won all those games by one score or less a year ago. I think that the average is going to play out here. They're going to lose some of those games, not going to be as good as they were in 2022. Winnable game for the Eagles. They should start off 2-0, and that record should go to 3-0 because the Eagles will go on the road to Florida in Tampa and take on the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. So back-to-back primetime matchups for Philadelphia. Of course, the Eagles always a primetime draw. Week 4 divisional play gets underway for the Birds. They will host the Washington Commanders in Week 4. They're going to go with Sam Howell as of right now. I do think Ron Rivera could be on the hot seat if the Commanders get off to a slow start. You're looking at this schedule here, really no excuse barring any catastrophic injuries for why the Eagles should not begin the season at 4-0. Before we continue to take a look at the rest of this schedule, make sure you subscribe to the show. Over the last calendar month, we've been able to pick up almost 2,000 new subscribers. We surpassed 45K the other day. Now we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. If you want year-round daily coverage on the Philadelphia Eagles that's both informative, consistent, and entertaining, join the Bird Gang. Hit that subscribe button. Week 5, Eagles go all the way across the country to the Los Angeles area in Inglewood, and they will play a Rams team that is also going to be down this year. The injury to Matthew Stafford's elbow, we'll see how he's looking, but that also a winnable game, even though the travel a little bit arduous for Philadelphia. Week 6. Quick trip up I-95. Usually you would pencil this in as a dub for Philadelphia, but now the Jets have Aaron Rodgers at that quarterback spot. Really good defense last year. Some good offensive weapons. But I think this Jets team is beatable by Philadelphia, but this could be a difficult game for the Eagles, no doubt. Week 7, another difficult game here on the schedule for the Eagles. High-potent offense for Miami, but are the Dolphins going to come up from Florida in our raucous Lincoln Financial Field in South Philadelphia and pull off the dub? Another winnable game for the Eagles here. Week 8, another divisional game against the Washington Commanders on the road, FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Eagles fans always take over the joint near our nation's capital, and once again, I don't think the Commanders are going to be a good team. Now, they did split with the Eagles last year as they ended the Eagles' hopes of having an undefeated season, but some winnable games here for sure throughout the first 8 weeks. Of course, I don't know if the Eagles, like they did last year, are going to start off undefeated throughout the first 2+ months of the season, but the point here being you like how the schedule is playing out in the Birds' favor. Week 9, Eagles will stay at, or after being on the road against Washington, they'll come back to Lincoln Financial Field. Short travel, of course, going to Landover, Maryland. First game against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm interested to see what that Cowboys offense looks like without Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator and with Mike McCarthy calling the plays. They made some adjustments and they added to that defense here for Dallas, but I still have questions about who their number 2 wide receiver is going to be. CeeDee Lamb is good. They lose Ezekiel Elliott, so Tony Pollard going to be the bell cow back. This game taking place November 5th in Philly. The Eagles last year 14-3, winning the division. Dallas Cowboys 12-5. They did split in 2022. I think the bye week falls at a pretty good time here. It's right in the middle pretty much of the season. Remember, 18-week 17-game regular season now in the National Football League. To have that bye week right in the middle, not too early, not too late, I think that's pretty sweet. Week 11, Super Bowl 57 rematch. The Eagles will have to go on the road in one of the more raucous environments at Arrowhead in Kansas City, and hopefully this time they can take down the Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be one of the biggest primetime draws of the entire 2023 NFL season. There are 14 matchups this season that were playoff rematches from a year ago. That's the most in the history of the NFL. This one, maybe the biggest of them all, considering the rematch is from the Super Bowl and Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. Can the Eagles exact their revenge on Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes? I certainly hope so, because I hate this football team right here. Week 12, another difficult game here. So you look at this stretch for Philadelphia. This might be the most difficult stretch of the regular season because the next opponent in Week 13 is the San Francisco 49ers. This is really going to be crucial for the Eagles here from Week 9 to Week 13. Playoff team in the Cowboys, even though the Cowboys are always frauds, probably going to be a playoff squad. The defending Super Bowl champions and the Kansas City Chiefs, Josh Allen and the Bills, come to Lincoln Financial Field. Then the San Francisco 49ers, who I believe are neck and neck with the Eagles here as the powerhouses in the NFC. I think the Eagles are better than the 49ers. And then after that, what's the next grouping of teams in this conference? Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions. After that, the Eagles, then the Niners. I do think there's a little bit of a sizable gap here. The good news for the Eagles, if this holds, is that Cowboys, Bills, and Niners, all games at Lincoln Financial Field. San Francisco has to travel all the way across the country, too, and they are going to log, are the Niners, the second most miles in the NFL for all of their road games. With that, let's ask you this. I understand we still have a couple of games to get to. What game are you looking forward to the most on this Eagles schedule? Gotta love the Cowboys game, the rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs, and of course the rematch against the Niners. They've been butthurt all offseason about that loss in the NFC title game because of the injury to Brock Purdy. Going to be a physical matchup in South Philly. Week 14, not long after the Eagles took on the Dallas Cowboys at home, they go on the road to play the Cowboys here. I kind of like where this game is, because you don't have to really have a game late in the season that could decide the division. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Now, do I trust the Cowboys to come through in a big spot? Never in my life, because they've never done it, right? But I just like how the schedule plays out here. Another difficult game here for the Eagles, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do here. Are they going to fly to Arlington, just outside of Dallas, and then go to the Pacific Northwest? Or are they going to go from Philly to the Dallas area, back, and then across the country? So it's going to be interesting to see what Nick Sirianni does with the traveling schedule here. The Seattle Seahawks, ladies and gentlemen, they have really improved that roster from a year ago. Of course, Geno Smith's still their quarterback, but offensively and defensively, going to be one of the top teams in the NFC, in my opinion, this year, because Pete Carroll, John Schneider, the general manager, they've done a great job of building up that roster outside of Geno Smith. And we know that Seattle, Lumen Field, always a very difficult place to play for any team in the NFL, and it feels as though the Eagles always lose there. Week 16, first matchup here against the New York Giants. This one also confirmed on this Eagles schedule. This is going to happen on Christmas Day here. So no better way to spend your Christmas, right, than to wake up, open your presents, and then see the Philadelphia Eagles thrash and drub the New York Giants. The Giants, like the Vikings last year, won a lot of games decided by one score or less, right? But the Giants still aren't on the level of the Eagles. We should be able to celebrate Christmas with those presents around our friends and family members and with the fat Eagles dub. Week 17. Jonathan Gannon coming to Philadelphia, the all-time fraud, tampering charges, bad adjustments in the Super Bowl, talking bad about the Philadelphia media. Football team's going to be bad, too, out in the desert. Maybe Kyler Murray is back at this point, probably will be, and the Eagles, I think, going to bring the hammer down on Arizona. Then the last game of the regular season, this happens a lot, right? Sometimes it's the Cowboys in Week 18, or at least the final week before we pivoted to this 17-game schedule. Sometimes it's the Giants. I don't really love how it's Week 16 and Week 18 against the same football team who the Eagles beat 3 times last year. Difficult to beat a team 2 times over the span of 3 weeks. But again, the Eagles are the far superior team. So, macro here. You look at the entire Eagles schedule that's been leaked. Remember that Week 1, on the road against the Patriots. Week 2 at home against the Vikings. That's a primetime matchup. Week 3 against the Buccaneers Monday Night Football. That too a primetime matchup. Then you go Commanders, Rams, Jets, Dolphins, Commanders. And then Week 9 through Week 18, you get the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football. You get the New York Giants on Christmas. That right there, 4 primetime games. So I thought that the Eagles were maybe going to get 5. Of course, a game could get flexed late in the year, but as of right now with this leak, it is 4 primetime games to wrap things up. Cowboys bye at Chiefs, home against the Bills, Niners, on the road against the Cowboys and Seahawks, home against the Giants, home against the Cardinals, and then at the Giants. I guess another note here is the fact that after you go on the road to Dallas and to the Pacific Northwest, you basically have 3 home games here. Like, you're not going to travel much to New York. So you're at home against the Giants, Cardinals, at Giants. Hopefully you're going to be able to be replenished at that point, getting geared up for the NFL playoffs and another Super Bowl run. So, predict the Eagles' record once again. I asked you that to start the show. Now I'm asking you that to end the show. I'm going to do my official schedule prediction on a different video, but we appreciate all of you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and you already know, it's Go Birds, E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.